Kevin Hart just came after Diddy for the first time since the start of this trial and named everyone that Diddy is coming after. Cassie has already submitted a letter to the judge telling him that Diddy is dangerous. And now we're finding out that Cassie is only one of the people Diddy is planning to hurt. 34 witnesses, hundreds of testimonies, and 2 federal raids were not enough to stop Diddy. And now he's about to be back on the street. Today we're going to take a look at everyone Diddy is allegedly planning to come after once he's out on bail.
We're hearing from our affiliates who were inside that courtroom that Sean Diddy Combs put his hands together in a prayer motion, looked at the jury and said, thank you, before falling to his knees. His family were in the courtroom. There was applause, cheering as well as his mother left the court. She blew kisses to supporters that have been waiting outside. Now, as you mentioned, the verdict is in and it is split on that most serious charge, 1 count of racketeering and conspiracy. He was found not guilty. That was the charge that would have carried life in prison. He was found not guilty of sex trafficking and also of those 2 counts, but he was found guilty on those 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, those charges do still carry 10 years, a maximum of 10 years behind bars, so he could still be facing up to 20 years in prison. Now, even with that guilty verdict, this is a legal victory for Sean Diddy Combs. He has been acquitted of the most serious charges against him. His defence had argued that, yes, there was domestic violence, yes, there was drug use, alcohol use, but that he should not be judged for his sexual preferences, that it was all consensual.
All of the inmates at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Manhattan clapped for Diddy when he went back inside. No one expected Diddy to beat the RICO charges, and now he's out for revenge. And everyone who testified against him is in danger. Even Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Coram, turned on him during the trial. The people Diddy trusted to run his parties, the regulars who were at every after party, and even the elites who covered up Diddy's crimes, all left him alone when the feds started the investigations.
And after nearly a 2-month trial with 34 witnesses and hours of salacious testimony, a jury of 8 men and 4 women finds Sean Diddy Combs not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking, but guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. The judge is currently deciding right now whether Combs will actually be released today. His defense arguing that since the music mogul was acquitted of the most serious crimes, he should be able to go home. Once court was adjourned, family members cheered today's verdict. Combs' son, Christian, telling ABC News how happy he is.
Hey, yo, we love y'all. We love everybody watching. So happy. Pop's coming home. God bless. God bless the whole world.
What was going through your head when the verdict was read? Happy.
This week, during the BET Awards, Kevin Hart took to the stage and said this about Diddy.
I'm shutting down the idea of after parties. No after parties tonight, okay? None. Take your home after this. That's why I did it on a Monday. I did it on a Monday. People got to go to work tomorrow. No after parties. That's get slippery at the after parties, okay? We're learning a lot about people, ain't we? No yachts, no boats. Cardi B, no pink stuff, none of that stuff.
During the trial, Kevin Hart was absolutely dead silent about Diddy and even asked others to not bring Diddy up in front of him. This was because Kevin Hart was one of the only people who was on tape at a Diddy party. Leaked footage from one of Diddy's parties showed Kevin Hart and Usher partying with Diddy while being surrounded by models. Allegedly, these models were the ones that Diddy was abusing.
We have a scene like this, you gotta bring bosses with you. As you see, it's female friendly. We got a ladies and a female. She's butt ball. That's what I call it, raw dog. I'm not jumping the tub myself. Once everybody moves out, it's just me and the lady. This is my scene. I'm used to this type of thing. Doing what I do best. Oh, did the camera catch that? Got the camera. Got the camera off.
Dyeing that beard than Diddy wears.
All right, that's enough.
I know.
That's enough.
I seen him. He shows me behind the curtain.
That's enough. All right, I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna edit this out.
But still,
put a note on it.
You can edit that one.
Yeah, we want to thank you. Come in. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna If we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even I don't want it to come close to the bed at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Fresh
off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like just back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
what the f*** did Puff just say? Nobody's going to acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was stupid. Listen,
we're having a good time, yo. Your Usher made it in the... Hey, yo.
Right after the not guilty verdict was announced, Cassie and Deontay Nash, both victims who testified in the case, submitted an application to Judge Arun asking him to not grant bail to Diddy. Cassie's lawyers claimed that Cassie's life would be in danger if Diddy was allowed to go out again. The only reason any of the victims testified was because they thought Diddy wouldn't be able to get to them and they would stay safe. This verdict destroyed everyone's hope in the justice system. One fan said, "This Diddy trial is proof that you can do anything if you got money." Another tweeted about the situation, Sean Diddy Combs didn't testify. His lawyers called no witnesses. His case rested in just 30 minutes. Meanwhile, 30 people testified against him. Employees, ex-partners, voice notes, CCTV of him beating Cassie, and still no justice. Fame protects power. Power protects men.
Cassie Ventura writes a letter to the judge asking for him to deny Diddy's bail, calling Diddy a danger to all of the witnesses. The judge just said at 5 o'clock he will make his determination on whether he's going to let Diddy walk free today while he's waiting to be sentenced on his 2 counts of prosta. And now Cassie Ventura is the second person to write a note saying that Diddy is dangerous and she doesn't believe that he should be let out on bail while he's waiting for sentencing. Cassie Ventura's lawyer wrote this letter on her behalf to respectfully request that the court deny Mr. Combs to be released pending his sentencing trial. They cite the law, the Bail Reform Act, that says detention is mandatory post-conviction on these charges. And Cassie Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself as well as the community. We thank the court for its time and attention to this matter. Now I'll be on the lookout if we have any other notes from witnesses that testified against Diddy, because this is a big deal. The judge will take these into consideration on if he's going to grant Diddy's bail. Still waiting on the government's letter as well, so this is why the judge said he'll reconvene at 5 p.m.
Among those waiting on the edge of their seats for the verdict in the Sean Diddy Combs trafficking trial was singer Aubrey O'Day. She starred on Diddy's reality show Making the Band and for years has been going public warning about Combs. Now she tells Inside Edition hearing he may soon go free felt like a gut punch.
Pop star Aubrey O'Day is in shock after today's stunning verdict in the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial. I spoke to her minutes after Combs was found not guilty on the most serious charges.
What was your reaction to hearing this verdict?
It's literally a gut punch. That is not good enough. Let me make it very clear, it's not good enough, okay? We're not normalizing this.
O'Day first met Diddy when he picked her to star in an all-female singing group after she competed on the MTV show Making the Band in the early 2000s.
You've been speaking out about Sean Diddy Combs, raising alarm bells for years.
A lot of good it did me. My heart is with Cassie. She and all the women that testified had to sit on the stand while the world has debated their credibility and worth.
Let's not forget that Diddy has already started threatening the people who were testifying against him. Roger Bonds, Diddy's ex-security guard, said that Diddy instructed his guards to attack Gene Deal and ambush him anywhere they saw him. And that's not just talk. Gene Deal himself has confirmed it. In a recent video, he revealed that he's been moving cautiously and avoiding certain places because he believes his life is in danger. He even stated, "I'm not scared of death, but I'm not going to walk into a trap either." This kind of intimidation tactic shows just how far Diddy is willing to go to silence the people who know the truth.
But he was like, yo, if y'all see Gene, I'm telling y'all, man, somebody better punch him in the face. Somebody better do something to him, man. He out here doing this, that. And we'd be like, all right.
Okay, so when was this? Because was Gene doing interviews at this point?
Yeah, we talking like 2008, 2009. Gene was spreading the word. You know, Gene was always bad-mouthing Gene.
Wait, hold on. Vlad TV started in 2008, 2009. YouTube was really early.
No, he wasn't doing YouTube and stuff. He was going around talking a lot of shit. And we all from Harlem. So he was just talking a lot of shit. And it's a small, Harlem is small.
So what was Gene Deal saying during that time? What did you hear?
He basically was talking about Puff fighting women, hitting women, shit that was going on with him and Kim. Puff being gay, you know, with him and Usher and shit like that. He was talking the same shit that he's talking now on a major scale, but he was spreading it around Harlem.
Okay.
So it was basically a thing where, yo, if y'all see, man, I'm telling y'all better hear, he got hands put on him, this, that, and the other. But we seen him, you know what I'm saying?
Don't worry about somebody that I bodyguard. And God knows I can bodyguard myself with his blessings. I can bodyguard myself with his blessings, bro. I'm not worried about that. Nothing beats an ambush, and I know that. But I'm not worried about his shit. People just need to talk about something. They want to have something to say, man. Oh, Gene gotta be worried, so like that. So, shouldn't I have been worried when he was out here on the street? When he was out here on the street, I should have been worried. Yo, bro, August the 14th, 1999, high-speed chase in Harlem. You understand? I didn't know that he didn't send nobody after me then. Because niggas do that shit. They'll send something at you. I seen dudes that do shit and they have niggas right there in the same clique and they didn't even know he did it. So how I know those 4 guys, 5 guns to my head wasn't sitting by him. When Roger Bonds come and say later that Diddy wanted something done to Gene Deal. How I know? That shit made the news. I got 2 scars in my head to prove it. So how I don't know, bruh? You could be working for, I've seen this work for dudes. I was working for them.
The threats didn't stop with just Gene. Freddie P., a former member of Day Band, also came forward, warning Cassie to leave the country if Diddy is released. According to him, people close to Diddy are already planning retaliation, and Cassie is their next target. Freddie said that Cassie needs to leave with her family because if Diddy can't get to her, he's going to come after the people she loves.
And now, Cassie, just go ahead and move out the country, baby. Pack a little white guy up, get on out of here. We'll protect your family. Because if you think, Sean, and he done beat it, and you got 30 out of him, at the least, me personally, at the least, I would get your boyfriend beat up every time somebody see him. Like, I wouldn't have to be there. So I'm telling you, if I would do that, I don't know, you know Sean better than me. Cassie.
So you believe that Diddy, he'll try to harm Cassie if he get out?
I think so. I'm not trying to, man, it's hard because I don't know what Sean's getting out. I don't know what Sean is getting out of prison. I don't know if Sean is reformed. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Sean gonna get out more arrogant now that you just beat the feds. You see his kids dancing around, they don't look grateful. They look like, yeah, we gonna keep winning. That's not the attitude I would be giving. When I beat my case, when I walked out on my case, I dropped to my fucking knees. I didn't want to be around nobody. I'm happy as shit. I'm not celebrating blowing up in the law face because I know I was just fucking crying, begging God. Nobody was in there with me. I was begging him. So how I look like to get out here and act like some macho hero, like I wasn't just being a little bitch on my knees for my father to save me when nobody else would. So I don't know what P. Diddy getting out. But me, personally, you took 30 million from me, I would advise you to get it. I would get out and tell you to leave the country.
Diddy and the people around him aren't just making empty threats. They have a track record to prove just how dangerous they can be. Recently, on an episode of Piers Morgan, uncensored big homie CC said that he was threatened for speaking out against Diddy, and it's not a coincidence that Kim Porter passed away from pneumonia. Kim was writing a memoir that was going to expose Diddy, and Diddy wanted to make an example out of her. Horrible things are happening behind the scenes, and this case is only the beginning.
Well, Piers, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise as soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So, you know.
There were rumors.
I'm not saying.
Well, I was going to mention on this that there have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. He said, I say this all the time. I saw the tunnel. I didn't see the light. It was hot in that tunnel. I thought, shit, have I gone to the wrong place? I looked up the end of the tunnel and I thought I saw the devil saying, come on. Or was that Puffy?
Shockingly, Diddy's supporters are just as violent as him, and even support Diddy's violence towards women. Tisa Tells, a YouTuber who has been covering the Diddy trial, was attacked outside the courthouse and had to flee after a group of Diddy supporters started attacking her. These supporters were also telling Tisa how Diddy would come after her and make her pay.
It was a travesty. It was an all-out circus. Everybody, including myself, are running to safety.
I've got a question for you, Tisa Tells, and everyone's going to want to know this. You're in a car right now. You had to leave the courthouse. Why?
I had to leave the courthouse because Diddy's supporters were out of control. The first time I ran and did my live, of course, I had 2 armed security guys. Everyone told me, the people in the courthouse is like, make sure you have security. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. It wasn't just me, but I'll tell you what I experienced. Diddy's supporters surrounding me, threatening me, saying that they were going to hurt me. It was a serious situation. It got so bad and there was so much chaos and violence that they actually had to lock the courtroom down and force the Diddy supporters across the street. It was something myself, the news media, mainstream media, new media have never seen in their lives. The level, and again, the jurors, I hope to God they know how to sleep at night. Because again, I'm sure they did their duty. But when all that chaos was happening, as I was being threatened and ushered out by armed security people, I thought, this is what the jury did. They sent a signal that it is okay to use violence. It's okay to drug people up. It's okay to live a life of debauchery. It's okay to do whatever you want. Because guess what? If you work hard enough and you have enough money and enough delusional fans and you have ingrained yourself in culture enough that you can do whatever you want. And 12 of your peers will look the other way. Again, this jury was shocking.
Tisa Tells, when you say that Sean Combs' supporters threatened you, what were they saying?
They were saying, you effing B, we're going to kill you effing B. Apparently I work for the feds. You're a plant. You made this all up because of you. Again, they're not too smart.
Let's not forget that evidence was submitted in court proving that Diddy was bringing guns to his parties too. This is why Judge Arun denied Diddy bail. Diddy's lawyers want Diddy to get out as soon as possible, but Judge Arun ruled against him. Judge Arun Subramanian cited Combs' history of violence as he ruled the rapper must remain behind bars until sentencing later this year, when he faces up to 20 years in prison.
Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough. They acquitted him of the sex trafficking, which he was absolutely innocent of. They acquitted him of the racketeering conspiracy that he was absolutely innocent of, and all of the components to it. The kidnapping, he was innocent of that. The arson, he was innocent of that. The obstructing justice, he was innocent of that. And that is no longer just me saying that. That is the verdict of our jury.
Sean Diddy Combs has been denied bail after the verdict in his sex trafficking case, and here's how he took the news. According to NBC News reporters in the courtroom, Combs appeared, quote, deflated as his hopes of going home were seemingly dashed as his lawyers attempted to convince Judge Arun Subramanian to release their client ahead of his sentencing. In his ruling, Subramanian cited Combs' years-long pattern of violence as a reason for him to remain behind bars, adding that he continues to be a danger to others and unable to follow the law, arguing that Combs, who pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, force, fraud, or coercion, as well as transportation to engage in prostitution, was acquitted on the three most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering and only convicted of prostitution-related offenses. Defense attorney Mark Agnifilo insisted he should be released on appropriate conditions. As Agnifilo outlined, Combs would be willing to put up a $1 million cash bond co-signed by his mom Janice Combs, his sister Keisha Combs, and Sarah Chapman, the mother of Combs' eldest daughter Chance Combs, and have no access to his private plane, which is currently grounded in Maui. He also agreed to surrender his passport, undergo drug testing, and restrict travel to areas of New York, Florida, and California as necessary to attend court and meet with lawyers.
A virtual sentencing hearing was held yesterday, where it was decided that Diddy's sentencing process would be sped up so he can get sentenced as soon as possible. There are rumors that Diddy might be sentenced to only 2 years in prison and 6 months probation. No one knows what's going to happen, but one thing is certain. No one expected Diddy to get away after all the evidence that was presented in court.
First look inside Combs' Miami mansion, the day federal agents busted the gate open last year to raid it. A federal agent testifying about the evidence, guns and ammo seized from Diddy's home that were found near alleged freak-off supplies, which included dozens of bottles of baby oil and boxes of platform heels, bondage restraints, and bundles of rope. Also photographed as evidence that day, motivational messages on Combs' bathroom mirror that included "You a legend" and "Upward motion," and drugs. Lots of drugs, including ones found in plastic bags inside a Gucci bag, and orange tablets with the Tesla logo that tested positive for ecstasy.
So we just got new exhibits today. Take a look at these photos that prosecutors have just released. They're pictures of Diddy's former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, with what she says are bruises on her back and legs, which you can see here, and also a gash above her eye. Also released today some pictures from when Diddy was arrested in September of last year at the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York. And a special agent with Homeland Security testified last week that some of the items found included baby oil, drugs, these pink packets of ketamine. There's also this image of a knife wedged in a door. Now, Combs, we aren't sure if he's going to be taking a stand in his own defense, but he denies all of the allegations against him. But will all of these witnesses really prove the government's charges that he was running this criminal empire and that he's guilty of trafficking?
Diddy's lawyers are celebrating this victory and using it to present Diddy as a completely innocent man who just made a few mistakes. But we all know better. Everyone close to Diddy is scared of him. And if Diddy was really innocent, why didn't anyone come out in support of him? His legal team may paint him as a misunderstood icon. But Diddy wasn't just involved. He orchestrated, he controlled, and he destroyed lives. And now, he's scrambling to rewrite the narrative before his sentencing.
But he's going to get the maximum. The judge will give him the maximum, just like they gave O.J. Simpson the maximum in Vegas, because he got off Simpson in L.A. when he clearly these two people. And then when he got a second crack at him on a minor beef, relatively, of theft, they sentenced him to heavy time. So Diddy will go to prison, and he should. He's evil. And I say that because I just wrote a book called Confronting Evil.
Yeah,
he used narcotics and violence to coerce people to do what he wanted to do. That's evil. Sorry.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Stephen.
Now, back to Trump.
Well, hold on. Stephen
who-
wants to weigh in on what you just said. Go ahead.
Okay.
Only thing I want to weigh in, I don't want to castigate the entire culture. I'm tired of, we see pictures of a few bad apples conducting themselves in very disgusting manners and thinking that that's the entire industry. I'm a guy that was raised in the hip hop industry. I know an abundance of hip hop artists and beyond who have never engaged in, never been accused of, never would think of putting themselves in the kind of positions.
Well, the verdict is in. Sean Diddy Combs has been convicted on 2 counts of transportation of his ex-girlfriends to engage in prostitution, but cleared of the most serious charges against him. The music mogul has been found not guilty of racketeering conspiracy and 2 counts of sex trafficking. The charges he has been found guilty of are connected to his 2 former partners, including singer Cassie Ventura and a former girlfriend being referred to as Jane. In the U.S., it is a crime to knowingly transport any person with the intent that they engage in prostitution or illegal sexual activity. The 12-person jury deliberated for 3 days before reaching the verdict. The maximum penalty for each of the 2 guilty counts is 10 years in prison plus a fine.
How you feeling?
Not bad. How are you?
Anything you want the public to know?
Not yet. We'll be saying something soon. Thanks.
We're hopeful that ultimately he receives a substantial sentence for what he's done, and we're pleased that Cassie's brought to light everything that has happened in this trial. I just spoke with her and with the U.S. Attorney's Office team, and she's in a good place. She's pleased that the jury has found him guilty of 2 federal crimes.
It's absolutely a win. The defense took a really big gamble going to trial on this case. Really, any time that a defendant chooses to go to trial against the federal government, it's a big gamble. They have a lot in their favor, and it really paid off for Combs.
Diddy has been naming his co-conspirators for years, and if given the chance, he's going to use their influence to blackball everyone who spoke out against him and destroy their career. If Diddy walks free, he won't just come after his victims physically, he'll erase them from the industry. He'll make sure they never get another deal, another show, another platform. This isn't just about revenge. It's about power, control, and fear.
You better believe it. Shout it, Def Jam, we the best. You know what it is. It's 2010, baby. It's the takeover. I'm going in.
Happy New Year to the whole planet. God is the greatest. Real talk. And if there's anything that somebody can say better than that, I'm all ears. But with that being said, continuous blessings to the whole entire universe. Let's do it way big.
Big shout out to my man Drake is in the house. Fabulous is in the house. This little brotherly love. My biggest brother with all the boss, Ricky Ross, is in the house. Ricky Ross, report to the grass. DJ Khaled, he's the best. He's in the house. Tiana Taylor is in the house. My brother Chris Brown. I'm gonna stick with him from thick and thin. Chris Brown is in the house. You know what I'm saying? Cause something ain't right. So I know Chris Brown is in the house. Big shout out to my son Quincy, my son Christian, my son Justin.
From Cassie to Gene Deal to Tisa Tells, everybody who dared to speak up is now living in fear, while Diddy's team keeps spinning the narrative to paint him as the victim. But no matter how many lawyers he hires, no matter how many people he tries to silence, the truth is out. The evidence is there. The victims have spoken. So the question now isn't if Diddy is dangerous. The question is, how many more people have to suffer before someone finally stops him for good?